Cameron, leaving Sirius XM, just got done with the Max B interview. Max B had the NY streets flooded. With Jimmy acting like he can't see the water rising.
Then these niggas go back like 40 years. When you hear that you definitely didn't come home, what's the energy? Because I'm going to keep it 100. Yo, Killer, I got to talk to the governor in Jersey.
Yeah,
Yo,
mayor.
once I speak to the mayor in East Brunswick, I'm coming up.
It was, like I said, you just got to switch the mindset.
Max B coming home. Where we at with that? Are you able to get past that?
No.
Max B is finally back on the streets, and Jim Jones couldn't even disguise how salty he is. Jimmy got on the internet as soon as Max felt free, behaving as though anyone celebrating a man returning home is pathetic, even referring to Max as a failure.
Caught her op now looking shit, now we gotta sit down, look at that. Half these niggas broke, they can't.
The wild part. This is the same Jim Jones that applauded Mel's release from prison. That switch up hit different, and it gets much colder. When Max arrived for an interview with Cam and Mace, Cam bluntly stated that Jim was still afraid of Max. That tension still exists after all these years. The internet was going crazy over that comment alone.
I want you to pass it at some point.
You want me to crash out?
I definitely don't want you to crash out because I don't want to crash.
Let's examine why Jimmy is reacting so strongly to this circumstance. Why he is moving quickly and why Max B's return appends everything he has been constructing for years. Because this is more than just a rap feud. This is years of bad blood suddenly spilling out again. Max Baval is one of those artists who, the closer you look, the more you see how he shaped a whole movement without ever receiving the recognition he merited.
Was a bitch, her name was Cindy and Mindy. I wasn't sure cause I was too tipsy off the ribbon, playing big in the band. Let me cream, my dick was a buck, I was the ATM machine. Had the sparkle low in my ear, the low, nibble on the little nipples and blowing on the toe.
You draw back each layer. Another piece of New York history bursts out. He didn't even receive full credit for shaping an era. Charlie Wingate is his true name. Born and reared in Harlem, and he came up in the early 2000s running with Jim Jones's Bird Gang. But Max wasn't simply another person in the crew, not even close. At the time, no one was doing this fluid, melodic, half-rapping, half-singing flow that he possessed. It sounded raw, effortless, and ahead of the whole scene. That whole vibrant, wavy, half-sung Harlem sound eventually gained popularity because of performers like A$AP Rocky. Max had previously developed that plan. Before anyone ever referred to it as a wave, he was experiencing it. Mixtapes were being dropped by Max B like a machine. $1 Million Baby, The Whole Public Domain Run, and Coke Wave with French Montana. Each and every one became a cult favorite. He was the rapper that other rappers discreetly studied, even in the absence of popular support. His music was so unusual that people had no choice but to pay attention.
I ain't gonna lie, Max B really inspired my whole rapping career too. I feel like, not rapping career, but you see the way I'm making melodies.
Yeah.
He was a big part of that because before I started rapping, I was singing Max B all the time.
You draw back each layer. Another piece of New York history bursts out. He didn't even receive full credit for shaping an era. Charlie Wingate is his true name. Born and reared in Harlem. And he came up in the early 2000s running with Jim Jones's Bird Gang. But Max wasn't simply another person in the crew, not even close. At the time, no one was doing this fluid, melodic, half-rapping, half-singing flow that he possessed. It sounded raw, effortless, and ahead of the whole scene. That whole vibrant, wavy, half-sung Harlem sound eventually gained popularity because of performers like A$AP Rocky. Max had previously developed that plan. Before anyone ever referred to it as a wave, he was experiencing it. Mixtapes were being dropped by Max B like a machine. $1 Million Baby, The Whole Public Domain Run, and Coke Wave with French Montana. Each and every one became a cult favorite. He was the rapper that other rappers discreetly studied, even in the absence of popular support. His music was so unusual that people had no choice but to pay attention.
Let his kids go. Where's daughter?
Let's
not get close to the gate, guys. They're gonna tell us to move.
see it, nigga.
Let his children go. Where's his daughter? Let's not go near to the game, gentlemen. They will converse. That moment was big. His family, friends, and longtime partner French Montana were all waiting for him. French even shared a video of Max going out writing, "Can't make this up. My brother really came home on my birthday. You're no longer free. Huh." Jim Jones's and Max B's feud didn't just happen. From the beginning, it was bubbling. When Max first connected with Bird Gang and Die Pet, he was carrying considerably more weight than people realized. He was crafting hooks, shaping verses. And some persons even think he helped design significant joints like We Fly High. That's a heavy job for anybody.
I would never work for that cornball ass nigga again. Me? I'm a boss. I'm not with that. It's never nothing no more. Like, I look like a boss, I feel like a boss, I taste like a boss. Max Bigger Val. Out of here, man. So Jim Jones. Compare the names. Look, Max Bigger Val. Jim Jones. God, don't even add up. They're not they're not on my level, man.
However, this is where the disagreement began. Max said he never got the credit or the proper remuneration for all that heat he was creating. He felt like he was doing the real heavy lifting while Jim was taking the shine and stacking the bags. Imagine making hits and walking away with almost nothing. Max described it as feeling like that. Max declared outright that he was being taken advantage of. He'd put in the inventiveness, the hooks, and the vibes. Then watched Jim collect big checks while he walked away with a couple $100s from shows. That kind of money gap will make any artist feel played out fast. Furthermore, the respect was just as important as the bread. Max stated Jim never treated him like a real partner, even though he was behind a lot of the music people enjoyed. That disrespect heaped up heavy over time, and eventually Max terminated ties with Bird Gang. Totally. That breakup was loud.
Listen, I'm gonna keep it tall. That's kind of how I missed out on Max B. I'm just being straight up honest. And Jim ended up signing him because Jim seen the vision, because Jim had an outside vision of Max. I grew up with Max. Charlie Rambo, play all day, joking all the time. So when he came to me and said he's gonna start rapping, I was like, yo, Charlie, stop playing. His exact words was killer. Let's get this clicking like Dorothy's heels.
Max B, you know he wasn't Max B, his name was Charlie Rambo. He got out of jail, he come up to me. This is word for word. So I'm like, Charlie, what up? When you guys say, yo, Flea, I just came home. I said, you always just come. He said, yo, Flea, you know how to rap now. Let's get this clicking like Dorothy's heels.
After he left, Max and French Montana started dropping tracks that made it apparent who was truly behind such smashes. Jim stated that he never attempted to mess with Max B's money, explaining he was merely moving in the manner his own mentors taught him. But the bit he didn't say out loud is the genuine twist. He never handed Max his publishing back till the court ordered him to. In fact, Max had to take him to court. Additionally, the judge ordered Jim to give up what was once Max's. Cameron has consistently supported Max and even discussed this. Cam stated Jim has a history of trying to manage people and claim credit for work. Actually, he didn't. That has been a persistent grievance. Cam even admitted that he had planned to sign Max personally initially, but Jim intervened and took Max before he could.
Things that I'm saying, but you don't know the slam, like when you got locked up, you don't know the slander that I get. Cam, how the you let it go this way? From the same, like, what the how to go, da-da-da. I'm like, yo, I ain't see the, yo, I ain't see this nigga be playing niggas in and out of jail all the time, man. I ain't see this shit was gonna happen. Niggas be ready to take my head off about this shit.
Because you ain't a prophet.
Yeah.
They want you to be about prophet.
Yeah, listen, man. And I listen, I'm first tell you, I missed out and I didn't see it because you was too much of my nigga and I didn't see the vision. And sometimes what it is, not even talking about you, because you turned out to be something else.
You still got me in though.
Oh no,
you did everything in your you was like, look, go see bro.
Yeah, but listen, we boomerang, we here now. We ain't even gonna get it.
No, I'm just saying, like that's how
right.
Even you acknowledge like still like damn, I got Jaja, I got this nigga, I got Rel, I got you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You said nah, boom.
But Max and Cam are still strong in spite of everything. Their bond remained intact. Max immediately sat down for an interview with Cam and Maze after being released from prison. It was a massive link-up. But here's the interesting part. They didn't mention Jim at all. They kept the entire discussion centered on Max's recollections of Harlem, his incarceration, and his plans now that he is at last free. There will be no drama or name-dropping, just honest discussion about his past and future plans. That alone showed how much Max has developed. However, it's obvious that Jim is still carrying a great burden, even though Max isn't stressing him out at the moment. When Mace asked him in a recent interview if he could ever let the past be the past, Jim didn't even hesitate. He said no straight up. He didn't explain anything, didn't break it down, nothing.
It's B coming home. Where we at with that? Are you able to get past that?
No. Now we get past now. We can get past that now. You want to get past it? Or you want to dive more into it? Or you want me to tweak it?
I want you to pass it at some point.
You want me to crash out?
I definitely don't want you to crash out because I don't want to crash out. Now, what I want for myself, I want for my brother.
I appreciate it.
You see what I'm saying? Because there's too much money out here, there's too much life out here, and I like to do the things that I like to do. Ain't nothing feel better than living right now.
And it was evident in his expression. That inquiry struck a deep chord. People's theories have gone crazy in the comments. Jim still suffers from PTSD, according to one commenter, because Max used to run around World Star and constantly make fun of him. Another person even brought up the old hotel situation, stating that history like that never really disappears. Others, however, have a different perspective. Jim is saying this because Max B is not in front of him. One commenter stated, "If they saw one another, there is no way that they could not heal and move forward as brothers. The love is still there." Jim is in pain. Jim is also offended by Cam. Jim has to recognize he hurt Max B too. He reacted in that manner for that reason. They can proceed, in my opinion. That viewpoint struck a strong chord. This is the actual question. Can they really put all of this behind them? Can Max and Jim ever restore what they once had? Or, after all these years, is the past too untidy, noisy, and intimate to mend? Tell me what you think.